Most deserts have some kind of water in them. The definition of a desert is that it has less than 250 millimetres of rainfall a year. To put that in context, Korea receives between about 1,100 and 1,700 millimetres of water over the duration of a year. So a desert receives much, much less, but most deserts do receive some. And so even though it may appear as though there is some water on the surface after it rains, often the important water is below ground, the groundwater held in aquifers. And as more and more people move to an area, they draw up on that water and they use it for drinking water and for other uses. And as climate change occurs and it rains less, and as more and more people move to an area, the more pressure is put on these reserves of groundwater. And the pressure on those is really one of the big worries of the modern era, is that once that groundwater runs out or becomes depleted, how will people have access to fresh drinking water? How will they have access to water for irrigation systems in desert areas such as this? There's a crust of salt on the surface of the sand here, and if you do it up, it is this kind of white powder which stops anything from growing beneath it. This water will probably evaporate quite soon. It's been raining a bit in the last few days, hence why there is some surface water, but this will drain below ground or just be evaporated and be taken off with the wind in the clouds. The old factory is a bit of an eyesore. With such flat ground for so far around, you can easily see the relics of old factories, old towers of energy, electricity stations. So it's a bit of a shame because it does provide some significant blight to what would otherwise be an extremely pretty landscape. Just a scene of desolation. There's like what looks like a muddy pig trough where the lake used to be. You can actually hear the effect, the blocking effect that the trees have on the wind. If I stand here, I don't hear anything, but if I just put the microphone here behind the tree, there we go, now you can really hear the whistling effect, because that's the tree blocking the air. And so when you plant trees out across the sand dunes, that's the real effect they have in stopping the wind and stopping the sand from being picked up and blown away.